decided to say yes to board service for a number of reasons. Since starting to attend the church in 2011, just kind of became more and more involved in different aspects and enjoyed that. And then when things happened with Reverend Susan's departure, that was very upsetting for me, and it really caused me to step back and question if All Souls was really the right place for me. And so I took some time to kind of both mourn that and reflect, and decided that All Souls was the right place for me. And I wanted to contribute to making it better. I wanted to contribute to the healing from that wounding. I wanted to contribute to creating an environment where it would be less likely that such a thing would happen in the future. And I just wanted to commit to the community that I had grown to love and need.
And for me personally, All Souls is the first time I've had kind of, I would say, a spiritually healthy relationship with the church. And it's a place that I first came to about a decade ago, and I've grown, I would say, a more whole and happy and fulfilled person because of the church. And so I've been morally invested in making sure that the church has good structures and good systems in place moving forward. And being on the board is a place that allows a person to do kind of systems and change work. And so that's kind of why I felt drawn to join the board, just because I wanted to support this institution in a way, or support this institution that's just done so much for me personally.
All Souls is an important community within our larger Washington, D.C. community, and the board fundamentally is responsible for strengthening the All Souls community. Before I was on the board, I thought the work of being on the board would be easier, and I thought it would always be easy to do the right thing. I feel like I have blamed the board for decisions that they've made in the past. And now that I'm on the board, I'm discovering that it's often very difficult to know what the right choice is, that you're weighing a lot of different factors, and that often, no matter what you decide, somebody's going to be upset about it. So I feel like I have more compassion for past boards than I used to.
So as congregants, as board members, we're still congregants, so we're still receiving the services of the church. And that's typically not the situation in most nonprofit boards. And so that creates some tensions that I think it's very helpful to be aware of for yourself and for other board members that you're working with.
It was more work than I was expecting, but it was also much more rewarding than I was expecting. Almost immediately, I felt like as a board member, I had a responsibility to All Souls, and that sort of forged a connection to the congregation. And that was a really lovely feeling. My work for the board has kept me feeling very connected to All Souls.
Some of the things I have found rewarding about serving on the board is getting to know the other board members. A lot of them I knew their faces or knew them casually, but getting to know them, as people beyond, just the casual interactions on Sunday was really wonderful, and developed some very close friendships.
Yes, I've learned an immense amount about governance and church governance, and how to govern in a way that is thoughtful and ethical, and a lot about conflict.
And for me, at least, before joining the board, I knew one or two staff members decently well, but now I think I could describe the organizational structure of the staff of our church, which I definitely could not do before. And it's been wonderful to get to know kind of the support structure that keeps our church operating, and that keeps all of us kind of, growing towards wholeness together.
trying to find ways to make the start a little less overwhelming. So maybe provide some kind of orientation materials before the time on the board actually started. But I think to have the expectation that initially you will feel overwhelmed, but other board members will help you navigate through things, and don't be afraid to ask questions. And be gentle with yourself, because you're probably going to want to do more than you can possibly accomplish in a given term.
What is going to be exciting during the next year? I think about the changes that we're about to make to our governance system. So this year has been a big process, especially during the past, I guess it's now been about 3 months since our interim minister joined. This year has been a big process of educating ourselves about how governance works. And now I think we have a good base of knowledge to think about what are the changes to our governance system that we can make to incorporate the eighth principle into it.